these results resemble, you see, their cause. There is a particular type of action which has brought about this result. The similarity between cause and effect, cause and consequences. That's a profound philosophical and ethical subject, thing to understand. So here, taking example of this very case of Chunda Sukharika, the pig butcher, Chunda. All his life he caused this pain and suffering consciously, deliberately. Now what is karma? It is said is action, the result of action is suffering. So what exactly is action? Action manifests in the form of bodily action, verbal action. Two. But the action proper is mental action. It starts as a mental action. Now he planned out, he has created a technology himself of butchering in a specific way. Most cruel, unthinkable, horrible way of giving pain to those creatures who are the victims. Now that pain, the similar pain, exactly the similar pain has overtaken him at the moment when he was facing death, when that disease appeared, where he lost his mind. And he behaved exactly like a pig that he was killing all his life. So the similarity between his manner of killing, the way he committed that horrible action of killing, Panatipada, and the way he suffered at the end in this very life. It was as though it was a rehearsal of what is his performance that is going to happen now in hell. He almost rehearsed all the sufferings of hell before he actually went into the hell. In the human plane itself, he suffered the hell experience. Now this, you see, Surakkata is called Kamma Surakkata. Surakha simply means similarity. That is the likeness between the cause and the effect. So, every spiritual seeker must be very seriously thinking about it. Because whatever we do, whether bodily action, verbal or mental action, there is bound to be some result of that. You see. And if we can deeply think about it and reflect on this, that what kind of result we are creating now by this action. So the future that we are going to undergo is the future that will unfold, and we have to undergo willy-nilly whether you like or not. That future is being created now. And by what? By an action which starts as volitional, pure volition or will, or the intention to do something. Chunda he had intended that this is how the first operation, second operation, third, fourth, this is how he thought it out very well, and he operated according to his thinking and the way he intended to do, and his absolute rapacity of a hellish desire to eat that kind of thing, and absolute gluttony. All those things are actions. It starts with his intention to do that. There are other butchers who don't do like that. There are other ways, probably there are other so-called human ways. After all, killing can never be human. But now they have become sophisticated in using words. So there's a human killing. Killing can never become human. But there you are, that is the accepted word in the Western world. So this killing act is defined in Abhidhamma in a very clear manner. It is said, Pana Sanjay, you must have the perception or clear-cut awareness that this is a living creature. And it must be a living creature also. So this sense of being a living creature and to deprive that living creature of its life, Badhaka Chitta. To deprive that living creature of its life by concocting all kinds of theories and beliefs. Oh, God has created animals for human beings to eat. What a wonderful story. If the same theory is applied by a tiger saying, hey, God has created man for me to eat, no human being is going to agree to that. Yet the human beings, in the name of religion, have this kind of belief. And then they kill, they hunt, they say, it is our birthright to hunt, because God has willed it. So put the whole onus on the head of the so-called God that you have created. God is created by man. Man is not created by God. That's the fact. So it suits you to kill and therefore put the whole onus on the God, or divine being, or some providence or whatever. All these religious theories and all that enable you to do horrible things and undergo suffering. So in this Gatha, then Buddha, after telling this story, he gave this Gatha. He said, Idha sochati pecha sochati papakari ubhayatha sochati so sochati so vihanjati disva kamma kilittamattano. The evildoer, papakari, grieves here, sochati, and hereafter. Here, pecha sochati, idha sochati, pecha sochati. He grieves in this very life, all moment to moment he grieves. And then in the future lives also, the result of the karma giving fruit in the form of future existence, there too he grieves. He grieves in both the worlds, here as well as in future. He laments, he worries, he is overcome by worry and trouble, mentally troubled, and you see, and he is afflicted in this way by his own action, whether he likes it or not. And he does this recollecting his own impure deeds. Recollecting, which simply means remembering. Recalling, remembering. Now this happens at the end, let us say. In two ways it happens. One, after committing the actions. Now the action that this Chunda did, he did it absolutely mindlessly because he doesn't want to be reminded about it. So he gobbled all that food and then he kept himself busy so that he may not be troubled. So he was actually suffering from worry all the time. He says, well, I am doing this, but I can't help, he said. I am fated to do this, he says. Adrishtam, my bhagyam, my adrishtam, the unseen providence. See, this is like he was struggling from moment to moment with himself. That he can't help, he knows that it's a very painful thing and all that. Still he couldn't help, he was doing it. And he brought some theory of its own, Adrishtam and all that, some God and all that. He says, we are fated. He says, Adrishta, fate, the idea of fate. So he did this. Now the example of this Adrishta fate business is a very, very interesting example. I will tell you that. Imagine a man who is drawn into the river where he has fallen by this swift current. He is drawn first of all, and then he is adrift. He is carried away by the current, and this river carries him through all kinds of countries, and he struggles all the time to get out of the river, but no. It's very powerful current. He can't get out. And then at last, and he bumps here, there with the rocks here, and all kinds of, undergoes great suffering and struggles day in and day out as he floats. Then when he goes and falls into the ocean, there and gets drowned and suffering, is completely finished there. So life is constant struggle, sangrama, for such people, papakari, the evildoer. Now, what is an evildoer? It's nothing but an evil mind ultimately. An evil mind motivated by an evil intention. So people who indulge in evil without thinking the consequence, they get drawn, like being drawn into the river and carried into the ocean and be finished there. So helplessly people do many things. Now people who are not happy in their family life suffer day and night, but they are helpless, they can't do anything. People who are not happy with their profession suffer day and night, but they can't help, they have to do this. Or people who are living in a particular area with certain type of people, horrible people, but they can't get out, they don't have the money, they don't have the means or whatever. So they are caught up there. So life, if you go deeply into it, and you will see how people helplessly get caught into this swift current of karmic river. And that's how, and once you get swept like that, you are struggling all the time. So whatever you recollect, that means you interpret. Recollect here means memory. You are constantly haunted by your own memory, the way you are drifting. And this memory haunts day and night, and you suffer and struggle all the more. So the suffering is inwardly through memory, suffering is outwardly through all the external life into which you are placed, and you are thoroughly frustrated, yet you are helpless. You are discontented, you have a very good job, big job, but you are not happy about it. You want something more. So the struggle, really, the source of the struggle ultimately is pipasa, thirst for pleasure, thirst for ownership, thirst for existence itself. Until you drink your thirst, until you quench your thirst by drinking, you are never satisfied. And that is a struggle, not being satisfied with things. However much you may say, from the top of a 10-story building that, I am very contented, very satisfied. But the reality may be very different. So it behoves every spiritual seeker to know the power of karma action and intentional volitional action, how the intention behind, how that can be replicated in the form of a result which will be similar. You go and shout at somebody and punch at his nose because you are angry, And be careful that you have created a situation where you will be punched all right. So knowing this, action and its result, Sarakkata, the similarity between cause and consequences. Yatha karmam tatha phalam. As you sow, so you reap. It's worthwhile every devotee, spiritual seeker, every seeker of enlightenment to deeply think about it and manage your life in a way that you may not be a victim of your own actions. You may not be subject to struggling all the time. That you can manage consciously and deliberately your own future course of action by going against your own pipasa, your own desires of, and dissatisfactions of life. With this I conclude. May the grace of Bhagavan Buddha surround your lives with wisdom and well-being. May you all be happy and well. Sukhino bhavantu.